Hello, in this video, we're going to be talking about how much I realistically read in a week. I'll be sharing with you every day how much I read in terms of time and how much I read in terms of pages. So let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Hello, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be doing a how much I actually read in a week. And for some background about myself, I have a 9-to-5 job. I kind of work on this YouTube channel for fun. I help another friend of mine with her YouTube channel and kind of TikToks, as well as, trying to fit in a social life and other hobbies as well. So yeah, today's Saturday, which is a weird day to start this vlog on. But either way, I wanted to start it this weekend because I've been dying to read, but I just haven't had the time. I literally was so excited last night to get into bed and read, but by the time I got into bed, I was exhausted. So I have things to do this week, things that are stressful, just everyday life things, cooking, cleaning, social things, as I mentioned, but I'm trying to keep it as realistic as possible, so we're starting today. It's like lunchtime on Saturday. I woke up, I cooked some breakfast, I am doing laundry, I now am editing while I wait for my laundry, and I still have to go on a run as well today, and then I can spend the rest of the day reading. And that's if I actually get all my things done, because sometimes I procrastinate, and then I don't do things until it's too late and then I can't read. So yeah, I'm gonna do all of that and then get reading. I just wanted to start this video so that I don't forget. So right now I'm reading The Awakening as Told by the Boys, and I'm already a couple chapters in. I will have a whole separate Zodiac Academy reading vlog, so I'll have more in-depth kind of thoughts and reactions over there. I'll share a little bit of my thoughts here as well, but for the most part, we're gonna see how much reading I can get in a week realistically, but also I'm trying to read. I've been wanting to read. Also, one last thing before I do my things so that I can get reading, page count. So at least for this specific ebook for the Zodiac Academy, it's page, see how it says page 81, and then when I go next, it'll go page 82, but then it'll go next, it still says page 82, and then it says page 83. So I know some Kindle books or ebooks have page counts that match the print book. So I think The Awakening is like that. So I'm going to be kind of going off of that. And I'm glad it's that easy because some people have location number rather than page number, and then you'd have to do math and stuff, and that's just too much for me right now. So I'm glad that the book I'm reading has that. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and do all the things I need to get done and then read finally. Hello. The backlighting is probably not the best, but it's hi. I am going to finally read. We got all of our things done and I'm so happy. I can just relax. So quickly, before I get reading, I am, like I said, reading The Awakening as Told by the Boys, but I think I should have read, what's it called? Something about the bully, The Making of a Bully or something. I forgot the exact title, but it's the dual pov of Darius and Lance. But I already started this, so whatever, it's fine. I can read that. I don't think it really matters. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the whole story or the whole series, so I'm not sure if it matters, but I personally don't care about this added information. I just want to know what happens. So yeah, I'm going to start reading. Let's also get our timer on. Stopwatch. Let's get reading. Hello. I am going to take a little reading break, as in break from reading. I've been reading for 2 hours, 21 minutes. And I started at page 81 and I'm now on page 275. 275 minus 81. I read 194 pages in 2 hours and 20 minutes. So how do I do the math on that? 60 times 2 plus 21. So I read 141 minutes. 141 minutes. Did I do that math right? Page divided by minute. That's how many pages I read per minute. So I read about, right now, about 1.3 pages a minute. Damn, I'm a slow reader. But anyways, halfway through and seeing everyone's point of view is kind of crazy. Seeing Darius and Caleb, they've had this thing with Tori since the beginning. And I've mentioned before, and the way the boys have just this super unorganized, chaotic, mixed feelings about the Vegas. They love them, but they're intrigued, but they hate them, but they can't stand them, but they can't stay away from them. It's they're confused. Since today was literally just a reading day for me, and tomorrow will basically just be a reading day for me, I just wish I read the next book and then saved this for kind of like throughout the week. Should I literally just stop this book and then just go to the next book? Like go to the 5th book of Zodiac Academy? I mean, I technically can. Who's gonna stop me? No, I do have to wake up early tomorrow, and if I start that, I might just stay up all night. I'm going on a hike tomorrow, so that's one of the things that I do need to get done before I can just not read. Yeah, and then I'll be able to read all day. But I still do have work on Monday, so I will need to not be too invested in a book right now. Or I could just get super invested and not care. And like literally force myself to stop reading during the night. We'll see. I don't know. Decisions. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready for bed so that I can literally just lay here and do nothing anymore. Maybe play some chess, watch some YouTube videos, just take a little brain break, and then get back into reading for tonight. I'm just ending the day because I started playing games instead of doing my second reading sesh. So overall, I read for 2 hours and 57 minutes and 57 seconds. And I read, let's see how many pages. I'm at 315 minus 81. So in that 2 hours, 57 minutes, 57 seconds, basically 3 hours, I read 234 pages. So that's how much I read the first night. It's Saturday and I have to wake up early tomorrow. So good night. See you guys next time I read something. Okay, it's Sunday. It's like almost 7 o'clock and I have not talked to you guys all day because I've been reading and I've been reacting so much, but it's going to my Zodiac Academy reading vlog. I have just so many thoughts, so if you want to hear them, subscribe. But I finished the book today, and with that, I read 237 pages, and I read that in a span of 2 hours and 59 minutes, so right under 3 hours, I read 237 pages. But yeah, so that's that. And I am struggling with figuring out what book I need to read next, because I want to read the 5th Zodiac Academy, but I don't think I can hold myself back in terms of when I really get into a book, I can't stop. It's an actual addiction and I literally can't stop reading. Literally, if a book is so, I don't want to say it's good because there's some writing that's questionable and some like dialogue that's questionable, and I don't want to say it's like literary masterpiece, but it's really enticing. If you can rile the emotions, it's really easy for me to like ignore some of the bad writing or some of the unrealistic stuff. So yeah, I don't know what to do. So while I think, or not think, but while I don't want to think about that, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of my thoughts about the situation that happens in The Awakening. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on each Air and Orion about what had happened and their point of view, but I won't be talking about like specifics, just how I feel about certain things. So there might be some small spoilers, but nothing crazy. But also, if you've like read up to at least Zodiac Academy 4, I think you'd already kind of know a lot of this, just not to the extent. But anyways, let's start with Orion. I have my notes. I like his moral compass. I think he has a good balance of choosing a side, but not allowing picking a side make you just like rude. Rude is not even the right word. But he's good at making sure that even though he's picked a side, he's not evil to the other side. That's it. Great moral compass, I think. Maybe it's because he's leaning more towards one side now. Like he's getting pushed to the middle of the Aries versus Vega sides. Maybe he's more towards the middle now. Maybe that's why. But I think the moral compass was always there, even from the beginning. Even though he hated them, he knew that like, you know, like they're just girls. They had a terrible life. And it sucks that they've been put into this situation. Max. His part in everything in The Awakening, I guess I understand. He's an empath. He feels for everyone. So even though he does feel bad, you know, bros over hoes. And he's grown up with his bros for his whole life. And he barely knows those hoes. And I'm totally joking, by the way. Like, but seriously, he's grown up with the heirs, and obviously he'd protect them. My camera's about to die, so I'm gonna go really quick now. Seth, I think he's the weakest heir. He's so easily influenced, and he doesn't have a backbone. Caleb, I think after reading the boys' point of view, Caleb was the only one to where my image of them has gotten better from reading that point of view. He was willingly complicit a lot of times, but he was also actively against it. Darius, I can't Darius, I literally talked about him the most. Like, I can't. It's just so very conflicting and like so much to unpack there. But overall, I'm just disappointed. He knows what it's like to live under that type of like rule, and yet he chooses to become that. I am disappointed. He should have been stronger in one way or another. And that's that. So I'm gonna figure out what I need to read. We'll see. It's been like 20 minutes. I've decided that I'm going to read the next book. I'm not gonna read the prequel, Origins of a Bully, whatever. I'm gonna be reading Cursed Fates. I'm so afraid. Like, literally my heart's beating. I'm afraid of what's to come. But because I have work, I have an important meeting that I need to deal with tomorrow morning or tomorrow. I need to be my best. I can't be like on 3 hours of sleep. I am going to cut myself off at a time. I don't know what time that is. It's already 7. Should I do like 9, 10, 9:30? I need to be so exact with this or else it's not gonna work. We'll do end at 9:30, but at 9:30, if I'm like in the middle of a chapter, I can finish the chapter and then I must stop. So 9:30, alarm will go off, finish chapter, done. That's that, nothing more. Okay, so I'm gonna read now. I'm gonna read while I have dinner, and that's that. I'll come back tonight or tomorrow morning with my final reading time for the day and page count. I got a few-ish, I don't know, chapters into Cursed Fates, and I read 123 pages of that. So in total today, I read about 5 hours and 34-ish minutes. And as I said, 360 pages. That's that. I literally gave myself a deadline and I'm done. I'm not reading anymore today. And I gave myself a deadline because I knew I would stay up all night if I kept reading. So I'm done reading for tonight. It's 9. And self-control. We did it. See you guys tomorrow. So I'm literally just finishing up work. I am about to go to BART to head to the city. I've literally been so busy with work and I had lots of things to do. So I didn't get a chance to read all day, but once I'm on BART, I'm gonna go ahead and read. And lucky for me, I find that reading, at least Kindle, isn't too bad when I'm in like the BART. I can't say the same about a car. I haven't tried reading on my Kindle in a car. So I do usually read Kindle on kind of BARTs, subways, trains, and reading on Kindle seems to be okay. I'm someone who gets pretty nauseous and like car sick and motion sick really easily. So it did take some time getting used to it. I started slowly getting used to it eventually, and now I pretty much don't get motion sick in terms of being in larger vehicles. I try not to test it out in small cars or just cars in general, because cars are usually what gets me more motion sick more than any other vehicle. So I try not to try it then. But yeah, with that being said, let's go to BART. Let's get reading. Hello, I've been in SF for a little bit now. I was talking all this, oh, I don't get motion sick when I read. I got motion sick. I read for a good like 20 minutes on the BART, but I did start feeling something, so I stopped reading, and then I never read afterwards. So for today, I've read for 40 minutes and then had a total of 42 pages read. And currently for the past week, I've read 636 pages and read for a total of 8 hours and 11 minutes. I'm gonna try downloading Kindle on my phone, because the phone has the kind of anti-motion sickness like movement thingies. And then I'm gonna try again on the bus or train tomorrow on the way to work. So yeah, that's that. Not much reading done today. Hello. So yesterday I did read on my phone when I was commuting. I don't know if I read it to work, but I did for sure read it back from work or like coming home from work. And definitely, I mean, I don't know if it was the train versus the BART thing or if it was the phone, but I got totally not sick and it made my commute feel so much faster. And that was yesterday. I think you saw a clip and you might have seen kind of this and stats for the day, but just to kind of talk about it a little bit. I read a total of 29 pages. Yesterday, the ongoing page count I read since like Saturday was 665, and I only read for 23 minutes yesterday, so kind of just a portion of my commute. So that was yesterday, as I said. Today, I read 55 pages. I read to work and back from work today, and ongoing from today back to Saturday, I read 720 pages, and today I've read 33 minutes. And then so far, from the very beginning of this vlog, I've read 9 hours, 7 minutes, and 42 seconds. I don't plan on doing any more reading tonight, but if I do, I'll update the end stats on the end card. Otherwise, that's how much I've read today. Hello, it is now the end of Thursday. It is the 6th day. So today I only really read during my commute home and only for a little bit. I might read a little tonight if I have time, like before bed, but I have some things to do. It's now 9. I had stuff to do after work. I met up with some cousins, had dinner and some drinks like matcha and stuff. So let us do the math. Okay, so today we've read 39 pages. Since Saturday, we've read 759 pages in total. Today I've read a total of 31 minutes. But so far, since we've started this vlog, I read 9 hours and 38 minutes. I did a lot more reading this week during the weekend. So like Saturday, Sunday, in the beginning of this vlog, I read a lot. But I've been kind of busy this week, honestly, like with work things, extracurricular things, social things. Like I didn't realize, but it's going to be pretty busy. So this is some realistic reading right here. Not that much. I mean, it still could be a lot for some people, but I know there are some people who are reading like 1 book a day. That's not me. I'm someone who likes sleep for the most part. And honestly, not gonna lie, as of right now, this book is not pulling me in as much as the other ones. This is Cursed Fates. I remember reading Shadow Princess and the one before that. I would literally stay up until 3 a.m. because I can't put the book down. But I don't know if the writing's just not as good or if the story is just not as interesting, but I don't feel the same way about this book. Or it could just be because I'm actually not being addicted and I'm actually putting boundaries in place. So unsure. I'm only about 33% done with Cursed Fates, and I think I finished on Sunday. So I've started reading on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now it's Thursday, and I've only gotten 33% of the way. But yeah, I honestly thought I was gonna read more, but we'll see. Tomorrow we could do a marathon. Who knows? And like I said, I might read tonight as well. Unsure again. If I do end up reading before bed, I will update the end card slide thing with the updated and most current amount that I've read. And just some quick thoughts on the book. You know that I feel like it's not as interesting, but without spoilers, what can I say? I think what's crazy is that if you guys know what happens in Shadow Princess and goes on in Cursed Fates, you will probably know what I'm talking about. But if not, I don't think this spoils anything. It's kind of, I don't know if it's annoying or like I don't find it realistic or I don't know what. I just have some feelings about the way that the heirs are now treating them because of what happened. I'm like, all of a sudden, I mean, I know they all felt a certain way about it previously. I'm so vague, and I don't know if I'm being so vague that someone who has even read this knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, because of what happened between you know who and you know who, all of a sudden the heirs are just like nice to them and like care. See, here's the thing. I think what annoys me is that the heirs only now are being kind to them and treating them like actual people because it affects them now. Otherwise, they're just like these rude people. I mean, I get it. I've read like why they did it. It explains things. It does. But does it justify it? Does it validate it? I don't think so. But, you know, there's that. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, see you guys later. Hello, it's Friday. It's our last day together in this vlog. And I've barely read, I feel like. But, as I said, it's Friday. And one of the higher-ups in the office said, if you have nothing to do today at work, and you know there's no urgent things that need to get done today, you know, take it a little easy. So that is what I'm gonna do. I wish I could tell you guys that I was gonna just read for the rest of the day, but I have things that need to get done, so I'm gonna get those things done as soon as possible. I mean, it is about 1 o'clock, so it's not that late in the day. So I'm gonna try to get all the things I need to get done as soon as possible, and then read all night. I might even stay up and read all night. Because I don't really have anything to do. I usually go for a run in the morning, tomorrow morning, but I've injured myself, so I can't do that. Can't really work out, can't do anything. So yeah, we're gonna read all weekend other than some of the other editing YouTuber things that I need to get done. We're gonna do the things and then we're gonna read. Hello. If I'm talking a little funny, I just had some bulldog spicy noodles, so Excuse that. It's 7:43. I was able to read between some breaks at work as well as between some other chores throughout the day, and so far I was able to read about an hour and like 15-ish minutes. And now I'm gonna binge read. Well, first I'm gonna do my skincare, brush my teeth, get ready for bed, and then I'm gonna binge read. So I'm gonna stay up as late as possible. Okay, that's not true. I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna stay up as late as comfortably possible and just read. And even if I go into Saturday, I won't end my day until I fall asleep. So let's say I do an all-nighter and I sleep at 5 a.m. Everything I will read throughout that night until 5 a.m. will count, because it's my video and that's how I want it to work. But also because I did start on Saturday quite late in the day last week. So I'll give myself at least until whenever I fall asleep to kind of balance that out. My last reading session for this, and let's see how much reading we can get done. I will say that I think this book isn't as captivating and is a lot slower than the previous books. I feel like there are 10,000 different subplots, which is fun and interesting, and it keeps things interesting, like I said, and captivating and interesting. I said interesting like 3 times. It makes me feel like I'm part of the whole world because of like all the subplots. But the main plot is just not moving. Like, there's nothing happening, I feel like. I'm gonna do all the things that I just said, and then we'll do the last reading sesh of the week. And then I'll probably see you guys tomorrow morning with a recap of literally everything, how much I've read in terms of like hours, how many pages I read. But yeah, see you guys a little bit later, and let's get reading. Hello, so it's been a couple days since I've ended the how much I read in a week vlog. I was going to get kind of cute for the outro, but I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys and finish off the video. And it's a reset Sunday for me, so my bedding is getting cleaned. I'm in dirty laundry, and that doesn't matter. Let's get to how much I read this week. So as you guys saw by the end card, last night, or the last day of the how much I read in a week, I read 217 pages that day and read 2 hours and 48 minutes. So I ended up not staying up too late. I think I went to bed around 10 or 11. I was just so exhausted. I wanted to keep reading, but I just couldn't. I was falling asleep. So I put the book down, and then that was it. We were done. So let's talk about the overall totals for the week. So from Saturday to Friday night, I read a total of 12 hours and 26 minutes. And within that time, I read a total of 976 pages. So if I were reading like smaller, maybe contemporary fiction and all of that, that could be a good like 3 books, 2.5, 3 books. But because I was reading Zodiac Academy fat books, that was only like 1.5 books. So yeah, this week I was pretty busy. I had lots of extracurriculars, lots of social plans, and really busy at work. So that was one side of the realistic reading. Sometimes life gets busy, sometimes I'm not reading. Hopefully I can pull out the camera one of these weeks where I'm not as busy and I'm really sucked into a book, because that's also realistic. You know, there's ebbs and flows, and sometimes I'm just super busy or don't have the time to read. Sometimes I am so enthralled in a book, I just can't stop reading and literally dedicate my whole time to it. So hopefully one of these days you guys can get that perspective as well. And I hope you guys got a realistic view of how much I read as someone who has a 9-to-5 job, tries to balance out life, all of that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Bye.